Well, Pat, first of all, I do want to say thank you. It's so surreal. You came into Dayton and did our morning show when you had a solo album. It's probably been 12 years ago, maybe?
I mean, 13 or 14 years. That was 2007, I think. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Watson brought you in and you hung out.
Wow, Dave Watson.
Hung out, did the whole morning show, man. It was so fun. And we've seen you so many different times. And then
is Dave still doing it?
He is.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah, me too, man. Seriously, I've been working with that guy since the late 80s when I first got into radio. So
he's a cool guy, man. I like him a lot.
He's a cool guy. I'll never forget when he called and said, hey, I'm going to bring Pat in and, talk about his new album and hang out on the morning show for a while. I was like, okay, Pat Monahan. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
And you hung out for like 2 hours. It wasn't just like you popped in and shot out. So I have always appreciated that. And then to come full circle, seriously, with this thing that happened with John Waite, with my band over the summer, we recorded in Cincinnati, he recorded in LA and put it together. And then
that's so cool that you did that with John. I'm a big fan of his.
Oh, dude, he's the nicest guy. Much like yourself, just super nice. And we couldn't believe, he said, my band opened for him like 8 years ago and kind of became friends. And he said, yeah, let's do it. I couldn't believe it. And to hear you introduce it a couple times on Train Tracks has just blew my mind, man.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm glad that it's you that is getting the benefits of that, because you're a great guy too, just like John.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Well, I sincerely appreciate that. And I'm so happy you're coming around. You're going to be actually about 10 minutes from my house. So I'm coming to see you on August 26th at the Rose Music Center. And I first of all want to ask, what is it like to get back out there?
It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been so long, and it feels like a part of us has been missing. And then, I'm watching other bands cancel shows and change the rules, and, and we're just trying not to mess any of this up, because we need live music so badly, not just us, but people in the audience. Like, you realize after about 20 seconds that it's like a big human part of us is missing, and live music is filling those gaps, and it's big time stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's something that just as from the radio side of it, obviously my band, we missed playing shows last summer too, but from the radio side of it, just connecting with people every day, and how many people just kind of got back to the radio even through this whole thing, because they're like, radio is my friend or a familiar voice, or I just need that music in my life, like you said. And man, I'm telling you what, a couple of weeks ago, I saw Styx and Night Ranger. It was my first show back.
Oh, cool.
And people were just, you could tell they were just out of the stratosphere experiencing a live show. And I would have you guys done many so far?
We've done about a week's worth of shows.
Okay.
And it's just, every one of them is just so, I hate to keep using the word amazing, but it's a great experience, because it's bigger and better than ever as far as people's enthusiasm and that connection. Like, you really see how human we all are and how much it matters.
Yeah. I did feel kind of like you said, I almost sensed I think we all got a real wake up call on appreciating, not just music in general,
appreciating everything.
Everything, right?
I never knew how much I appreciated toilet paper.
Didn't even know that was going to be a thing.
I didn't even know that was a thing. But now I don't know how to buy just a little bit of toilet paper anymore. I have to buy all of it.
Of course. You have to usually crowd in front of someone and push them out of the way to do it.
It's a weird thing you find out about humans, right? Like, like all of a sudden, hey, there's a little bit of stress. We should all stress out. Okay, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy all the toilet paper. What a strange concept, right?
It doesn't make a lot of sense, because that you would think that the usage isn't really going to change, but
Yeah.
That was a bit perplexing.
Yeah, it was. Hey, what's the biggest song on your station right now? Is it Heat Wave?
It is probably The Weeknd, Save Your Tears.
Oh, cool. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, it's a cool song. And you know what? We played your Vacation, the Dirty Heads track. We played a couple weeks ago too. Tell me what's happening with that.
Yeah, it's in the top 40 now. I'm psyched for those guys. You know, I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time, and that song just kind of went crazy on TikTok, and they asked if I would be a part of it, and I was like, yeah, man, it's already a hit, so whatever you want, you know. And so we do a piece of it in our set, and it goes over great.
Yeah, I would have to imagine now. Train is celebrating, I mean, a couple really strong decades. The thing I love is that I remember in the very late '90s with, you know, Meet Virginia and Drops of Jupiter and some of those early tracks. I just remember thinking, man, I love this band, and I feel like I've connected with you along the way through the whole 20 plus years. And I would imagine you've seen your fans kind of, obviously you got those early fans, that early core, and then all these people that have come along for the ride afterwards, because you've managed to be one of the few bands that has, you know, most bands don't get out of the first album, right? If they even get a first album. And then you guys just kept putting out these incredibly powerful songs like Calling All Angels, and then fun songs like Hey Soul Sister and 50 Ways. And I mean, you've managed to just be like, nope, we're here, we're relevant. It doesn't matter if it's 1999 or 2009 or 2019. And I think it's timeless, man. And not many bands get to do that.
Well, thank you. I was aware early that we were not going to be the biggest band in the world. But if I could outlive all of them, that would be second best. And that's been the goal.
Well, you still look like you did in 1999, so I think you got that part.
No, that's a lie, but I appreciate it. Everybody asks, like, hey, Drops of Jupiter just turned 20 years old. Does it feel like 20 years? I'm like, well, I still feel like I'm 25, but then the mirror tells me, you ain't, Jack. So
don't you think that playing live does help you feel like you're still 25?
I mean, this is a very true statement. I feel like I stopped aging a week ago. Like, no lie. Like, we just got back on the road a week ago, and I feel like I'm just getting younger, because that's what music does for me. Like, it's just such a very big, deep part of all of us. And it's so, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, telling people to go see live music can be, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to make people feel like I'm putting them in any kind of jeopardy. But when we leave these towns, there is no spike in COVID in any of these towns. Like, they're very responsible people coming to these concerts, and they're really very needed. Like, we all need it. People in the audience need it. We need it on stage. It's a human, like, connection that we all need.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I really feel like when things really got bad by the fall and through the winter, you know, the winter's depressing anyway, but I feel like, I feel like the whole country kind of hit this emotional low.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to your sporting events. You're not going to your concerts.
Yeah.
You know, and it's winter time, and man, I feel like, you know, we were ready to just hit the ground running this summer, and I'm so glad to see you guys back out there. So again, the show is Thursday the 26th, 7:00 at the Rose Music Center, which is a fairly new facility, by the way. You're going to love it. It's a great place. And I don't believe you've been there in the last couple of years. You've been different places around Dayton, but I think this will be a first for you there. So what can people expect with this broad, you know, library of Train hits? And
what's the biggest city close to Dayton? Is it Cincinnati or is it Cleveland?
It's actually Columbus.
Right?
Yeah,
that's exact. Yeah. So Columbus is where OAR is from. Yeah, the band. Yeah. They all went to Ohio State.
Yes.
And we toured with them a few years ago and stayed really close. They got me into boxing. So my workout is in the back of a truck with a heavy bag and stuff because of those guys. But
really,
putting a set list together every night it's fun. We're doing more songs from the Drops of Jupiter album, since it is a 20-year anniversary. And even though we have a bunch of new songs because we'll have a new record in the fall, we're not playing any of them because I've been to concerts where they play new music and I'm like, why are you doing this to me? So we'll wait until people are familiar with them. And then we have a Christmas album that we did a while back called Christmas in Tahoe that we just keep adding songs to as time goes on. Instead of making new Christmas albums, we just keep adding it because it's all digital anyway.
Right.
And we're going to shoot the Christmas in Tahoe movie in about a month. And then it'll play on Hallmark this Christmas season.
Really?
Yeah, I'm psyched.
So is the whole band in the movie? How's that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I have a pretty significant part, not as a musician, but I'm not sure if the other guys will be in it like peripherally, or if it's just, with the way people are shooting movies right now to keep it going, it's very intense and all testing all the time. So it might not work out that way.
Right. Well, that's exciting. And every year we play Shake Up Christmas every year. That's such a fun song. That's been around for a while.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been around a while. Eric, your guy, my guy, he's trying to make it annoying to the world so that it's like every other Christmas song, like not this again.
Well, the thing I love about that song is that it's, where you have your traditional, classic Christmas song. I like that one because it definitely sounds contemporary, which you don't, a lot of the new contemporary releases, Christmas songs don't necessarily end up getting more than a play or two. And it kind of is like, okay,
right.
That was fun and it goes away. But
right.
That one does, have a resurgence every year. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it too. Eric's doing a good job with it. Thanks.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I saw you a couple years ago. I guess maybe it's been 3 years ago on the Hall & Oates tour. Bro, that was one of the best combos because, of course, Hall & Oates are legendary and, have 5 decades of hits. But seeing you guys come out and play basically your greatest hits and a few others, to play this killer opener set and then have, Hall & Oates come out and play all their hits and then have you come out and sing with Daryl. I mean, man, it was, and I saw live from Daryl's house. So I knew a long time ago that you guys had this connection and he has this respect for you and you have this respect for him. It was so cool to see that, on that tour. Yeah,
it was really fun for us too. Hall & Oates has been a huge part of my music history. And it was a really fun tour for us as well. Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah. And the song, Philly Forget Me Not, that was, that's on my playlist, man. That's sounded like a really cool, just something in the moment type of song for you guys.
Well, yeah, I'm originally from Western Pennsylvania, and those guys are both Philadelphia guys. So Philly Forget Me Not seemed like the right vibe. Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we let you go here, Pat, what can we expect from the new Train album? I know you said you're not going to be playing a lot of stuff necessarily at the show live, but we have to look forward this fall. We can play all of it live if you want. Let's do it. And then everybody's sitting there like, oh. I think it's going to be a really good record. It's these young. I'm always influenced by young people, and I listen to a lot of hip hop, but people don't want Train to make a hip hop record. But I've been listening to these old sounding songs that are from young kids today. And that has played a big influential role in the new Train record. It's much more like Motown-y and soulful. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people. And then it'll transcend into a live setting, I think really well for next summer. And when we have the new album out, people are more familiar with it, we'll play those songs. Yeah, we'll look forward to that, man. That's for sure. We'll just keep I'll play your music, you play my music. Keep scratching each other's back. All right, yeah. So I guess we just got to figure out so we've done Stranger featuring Rick Springfield and Stranger featuring John Waite. So anytime you want to do Stranger featuring Pat Monahan, I'm in. Cool. All right, I'm in too. Sounds fun.
Thank you so much
All
for
right.
taking the time. Great to see your face, and look forward to
too,
seeing you
thanks.
next week at Rose Music Center, man.
Great. I'll see you next week. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Pat.